Hello and a very warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here, and today we are going to talk about the Indian forests. A direct question came from here in the prelims paper of 2023, which was a set question number 3. In order to see the themes for next prelims that will be happening in 2024, we need to assess that how UPSC is asking questions and from where, and how can we better prepare for them. So in order to see for this question, we'll see how and where it was mentioned in the NCERT, plus what is its relation to a 2015 PYQ, and how we can better prepare from both these sources in order to have knowledge which will be required for the next paper as well. So let's see. We'll also discuss the source of this question, the solution to this question, and why it was asked, and how to prepare for it in the future. Alright. So let's see the question first of all. The question mentions 3 trees. One is the jackfruit tree, also famously known as katahal. The other is a mahua and teak. So let's see these. The mahua is very famous among the tribal belts in India because of its social and economic utility, especially in the belts of Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand regions. The katahal, on the other hand, or the jackfruit, is a native to southern India. It's also a tropical tree. The Portuguese discovered it when they came to Kerala, when they landed in the Kerala port. On the other hand, teak is famous for its wood. The Tectona grandis, it's famous for its wood. We'll see other things. So the UPSC has repeated its questioning pattern that how many of the above are deciduous trees. The first information that we must have is what are deciduous trees. Alright, so let's see the discussion. The subject that this question has been asked from is Indian geography, and the topics is forest resources and their utility. The subtopic here is distribution of the resources or utility of these resources. So we'll first have to know how these resources have been distributed through the India. In the last question we talked about ports. In this question we are talking about the forests. Alright. So in order to first know, we should know that what are deciduous trees. And deciduous means to fall off or shed off. So there are generally two things that can fall off from a tree, either the leaves or the fruit. So after one reproduction cycle, if the leaves fall off during the autumn and the tree starts to bear flower and then the fruit which also sheds off, they are known as the deciduous trees. Sometimes fruits are picked off the plant before they naturally fall off. They are stored and sold later in the markets. So most of the fruits that we consume are deciduous fruits or come from deciduous trees. On the other hand, there are evergreen trees. So they complete their reproduction cycle without shedding off their leaves. Jackfruit is one of such trees, which we will see later. Alright. So what are the pickups from this question? That jackfruit is one consumable fruit. It's also tropical fruit. The mahua is often used in the tribal belts of India. The teak is also known for its wood and furniture. So let us see how we could have known this. Could we have known this from any earlier experience? or common sense or some sort of knowledge. So let's talk about the jackfruit. So there's no way, except if you already know it, to guess from the question that it's a tropical evergreen tree. For the common sense way, we may think that due to its fruits being so large, they must take time to grow or multiple reproduction cycles to grow. And that's why we could say it's evergreen. But there's no certain way to know from the question itself that this is a tropical or evergreen type of fruit. Alright, so what is the theme of the question again? It's the distribution of forests across the India. Let's also talk about the PYQ. So it has been asked in 2009, I think. So in India, in which of the following types of forest is teak a dominant tree species? So it has asked about the teak. So it has given a tropical, and temperate here. So India is classified as a tropical country. Right, moist deciduous, rainforest, thorn, scrub forest. So the answer here is moist deciduous forest for the teak. So we could have solved this if we would be certain about at least option 1 if you have done the PYQs. PYQ is something that every student should do if they are attempting prelims. So this is, I am guessing, you would have known already, as it has already come in the PYQ. So teak is defined. We already know it is deciduous. Alright. Let's also see what is the NCERT relation. So NCERT says the tropical deciduous forest. These are most widespread forests in India. They are also called the monsoon forest. They spread over regions which receive rainfall between 70 to 200 centimeter. So how to prepare notes for this? You should take 2 tables, 1 table, 2 columns here, multiple rows, and you can write that also known as monsoon forest, rainfall 70 to 200, widely distributed across India and so on. These forests are further divided into moist and dry deciduous forests, depending upon the range of rainfall which the regions may get. Because the range is rather big, it's around 130 centimeters of rain. So you can decide whether they are dry or moist. Alright. So the moist deciduous forests are more pronounced in the regions which record rainfall between 100 to 200 centimeters, which fall in this range. And these forests are found in the northeastern states along with the foothills of Himalayas. So this side, and the slopes of Western Ghats, this side, and Odisha, this side. So which of the trees are mentioned here? The teak is mentioned. This is in our question. Sal, Shisham, Hurra, and Mahua again. So Mahua is again mentioned in the NCERT. So these 2 options have been mentioned. Amla, Sisam, Kusum, and Sandalwood. So they are the main species of these forests. So let's see why this question was asked. So this question would have been asked because along with the prelims, we are attempting the CSE. We are also attempting the Indian Forest Services. So we need to know about the forest resources of India. That is a very thing that is expected from us. And we must know about the PYQs and the NCERTs. So these are the basic sources for this question. At least 66% of the options are from these 2 sources. Okay, let's talk about the third option, which is jackfruit. So jackfruit is neither mentioned in NCERT nor mentioned in the PYQs. So let's see where this option has come from. This option you could have either grabbed from the news. I'll tell you which news. Or could have seen that NCERT does not mention this example in either of the forest types. whether it is a dry deciduous or any sort of deciduous forest. So it's not mentioned in the NCERT in these at least deciduous forests. Alright, let us see the news which have been recently published around this jackfruit tree. So Karnataka farmers pin hopes on Malaysian red jackfruit variety, Dang Surya. So the jackfruit is most often in the news from Karnataka region either or Kerala region because it is one of the favorite food of the elephants there. Alright, can Mahua seeds provide Adivasi a reliable livelihood? So this was down to earth, and of course Mahua is very much connected to the tribals or Adivasis in case of livelihood, economic utility or social utility also. Another thing is how teak forests are threatening the livelihoods of Kutia Kond. So you could have known the Kutia Kond tribes are in Andhra Pradesh. So Mahua and both teak are very much used in India and among the rural communities of India in order to build various structures or furnitures. Alright. So what is important pick up from here? Due to its high value timber, teak is the world's most cultivated high grade tropical hardwood, covering approximately 6 million hectares worldwide. Of this, around 94% is in tropical Asia, with India 44% of which totally, and Indonesia 31% contributing to the bulk of the resources. Since the first teak plantation by the British in Kerala's Nilambur forest in 1842, the teak trees have invaded almost all Indian forests to fulfill the purpose, as often cited, of enriching the forests. So more trees means better forests. So teak has done this job here. Almost all states of India have carried out teak plantations in the forest under different schemes to create or convert the existing forest into high value timber based forests. So it's a form of economic utility or improving the economic utility. All right, let's talk about the Indian forests now as the sort of extra knowledge that we would like. And this is the master chart for this question. So please note down any important things that you may encounter. So the natural vegetation of India, according to various classification, it is divided into multiple sort of forests. Here we can see tropical thorny, alpine, Himalayan dry temperate, Himalayan moist temperate, subtropical coniferous, tropical moist deciduous, tropical wet evergreen, tropical semi-evergreen and tropical dry deciduous. Okay, there are tropics of Capricorn, tropics of Cancer. There is equator. So Tropic of Cancer also passes through India. That's why these forests are known as near tropical forests. Alright. And these are temperate forests, the upper ones. Okay, let us see the distribution and the trees often found in these forest systems. Briefly, first of all, let us see the distribution here. So the tropical thorny vegetation can be found here in the drier areas of India, the eastern Rajasthan, the western Rajasthan, etc. and in this region. While the alpine and subalpine, it comes from the Alps, in the European Alps. So what we see here is these sort of trees can be found in the middle Himalayas, let's say, and the lower Himalayas. While the Himalayan dry temperate forests can be found here in this region, here as well, and Himalayan moist temperate can be seen here in the lower Himalayas. The subtropical coniferous can be seen here. The tropical moist deciduous, which we are talking about, the teak, etc., can be found in this region. The tropical wet evergreen can be found in the lower western Ghats. The tropical semi-evergreen can be seen in the upper western Ghats. The tropical dry deciduous can be seen in the other parts of the country, filling out most of the remaining area. Alright. So it's not very important to completely categorize these or be able to categorize these, but it is how it looks in general. But let us talk about the important trees. So you can screenshot this if you would like to, and I have put all the important trees here. So tropical thorny, babool, khejdi, neem, kadamb, etc. Alpine and subalpine, deodar, cedar, silver fir, juniper, rhododendron. This is also much in the news, rhododendron. Himalayan dry temperate. So oak, chinar, it's also a very famous tree. Walnut, Himalayan, cypress, Himalayan moist temperate, then rhododendron again, silver fir, blue pine, spruce, subtropical coniferous. You can see chir pine, sal, deodar, blue pine, and tropical moist deciduous. This is important for us. You can see teak here, sal, mahua also is in here, Indian rosewood, that is known as dalbergia. Tropical wet evergreen, rosewood, ebony, cinnamon, Viteria. Tropical semi-evergreen is one of these, jackfruit. Mango is also this, mahogany, Indian laurel. Tropical dry deciduous, this is neem, banyan, tamarind, Indian kino. Alright, so what is the reality of the question here? The reality is in such a sense that means we cannot say with a whole certainty that this has come from here or this has come from here, this has been asked for this sense. Simply, as per me, the two options, one came from NCERT, one came from PYQ, and they put the third one, which was jackfruit, in order to see whether or not we can figure out this is a tropical tree. This is a, let's say, a fresh question with some fresh information. All right. So if you would have read this type of forest and the trees often found in these forests, then you may have had an idea about the sort of information that the question was seeking. Let's talk about teak tree in quick manner. So type of tree is, it's a moist deciduous. Scientific name is Tectona grandis and native to South and Southern Eastern Asia, including India as well, and Myanmar, Thailand. But we have already read that India and Indonesia comprise most of this tree. Wood is hardwood and highly durable, resistance to rot, termites, and weathering. Alright, timber's utility is highly valued for its quality timber used in shipbuilding, furniture, flooring, and construction. Let's talk about mahua tree, Maduca longifolia, and India and other parts of South Asia. It's native to here. Found in India in various states of India, including Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha. Climate it prefers is tropical and subtropical regions, thrive in hot and humid environments. And the economic importance is collected for commercial and other purposes, contributing to local economies. When you talk about the jackfruit tree, it's a evergreen tropical tree or semi-evergreen tropical tree known as Artocarpus heterophyllus, native to western Ghats of India, especially Kerala, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. But now it's available pan-India. It does not grow naturally in the pan-India, but it's native to here. Found in India is including Kerala, Karnataka, TN, and Maharashtra. Climate preference it tropical and subtropical region, thrives in hot and humid environments. So it needs a lot of heat and water. So fruit characteristics are largest tree-borne fruit. This is important. Weighing up to 35 kilograms with a rough spiky exterior. All right. This is the picture of trees that has been mentioned. This is a teak tree, mahua. This is teak tree. This is mahua, and this is jackfruit. All right. Let us also see the solution of the question. So the question has asked us about the deciduous trees. So we know that teak and mahua are deciduous trees, and the jackfruit is a tropical semi-evergreen tree. So what we have learned from the question, whether or not we did correctly attempt it in the prelims, what we have learned from the question is we should pay attention to the forest, its types according to various classification systems, their geographical appearance. Earlier also a question came that which of the part has all three types of forest in it. So northeast was the answer probably from that year. Okay, so forest, its types, the classification according to various different scientists or different systems, the trees found there, And which of these trees has a better or a certain economic importance? Which of these trees are commercial varieties or important to community socially or economically in any manner or sort? So this is what we should know. We should also make notes about trees being let's say tropical, moist deciduous, evergreen, semi-evergreen, and must know what is the scientific purpose of classifying them as such. Why one tree is called deciduous and why the another is called evergreen. All right. If possible, if you have some extra space left, then can note down their general features. That how can you identify such a such tree. So at least the important ones you can mention. So this was about today's lecture. We'll discuss more questions in upcoming lectures. Thank you very much. This is Yatharth here signing off. Keep studying, be bright, and have a very good day ahead.